Friend, I think that all of us can agree that one of the major benefits to America and in American media is the fact that the Pope's presence means we don't have to hear so much about Donald Trump. Yes, the Pope trumps Trump, and we all get a small break. All right, I just had to lighten it up a little bit at the beginning. You know what? Let's also do a public service announcement. You ready? Look at this and tell me what's wrong with it. All right, now look at this and tell me what's wrong with it. Commas save lives. Remember that. Commas save lives. All right. We'll probably never laugh again for the whole show, so just give me a little chance here. The Pope spoke to Congress. Let's play the clip of him, the opening, where he gives his little greeting, and then I'm going to have to read the transcript.
To address this joint session of Congress in the land of the free at the home of the brave.
All right, so it was a decent speech. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It was very hard for most people to understand. I speak Spanish. I've spent a lot of time in Latin America, so I was able to pick up some things that some people might not have been able to hear. And that's going to be why you don't see many sound bites from the Pope on the circuit of the talking heads. You're not going to hear it on the radio. You're going to hear people talking favorably or unfavorably about what the Pope said, but you're not going to hear many quotes. It's not his first language. It's not his second language. And he according to one press report I saw, he worked really hard to get the English where he was today to address Congress. Now, I am going to read some of the portions of the speech, which I can do in pretty short order. And I also, it's not my place to go around nitpicking papal speeches, but it is my place to call balls and strikes as I see them, to use this show to discuss what's going on domestically and internationally in the news from a Christian perspective, and to hopefully offer food for thought and critique that sharpens our intellectual process and also helps us to be able to discuss these things intelligently, or at least to ask intelligent questions. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put these words up on the screen. You can read along with me, and then I'll make some comments. Our world is facing a refugee crisis of a magnitude not seen since the Second World War. This presents us with great challenges and many hard decisions. On this continent, too, thousands of persons are led to travel north in search of a better life for themselves and for their loved ones, in search of greater opportunities. Is this not what we want for our own children? We must not be taken aback by their numbers, but rather view them as persons, seeing their faces and listening to their stories, trying to respond as best we can to their situation. I've spent a lot of time in Central America. I used to travel around and preach in Spanish, and been to an orphanage, walked into Nicaragua and saw 25 refugees living in a small house, probably barely bigger than this studio, no running water, no electricity. All the men were dead because the Sandinistas had killed them. I've seen a lot, okay? I've been to the dump in Guatemala where 2,000 people live in cardboard boxes. So I've smelled the smells, all right? I've felt the stickiness in the air, that your skin actually smells different after you leave some of these places. So I'm really not quick to turn my heart away from some of these people from South America, they're in Central America, that are coming up. I'm just not. The problem is this: it's not thousands, it's millions. Multiple millions. He said thousands of people coming over the border. It's millions. And it's not just that we're looking at their numbers, they're coming here illegally. They're coming here illegally. Now, he goes on to say something. In fact, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to address it when I come back. He said, to respond in a way which is always humane, just, and fraternal, we need to avoid a common temptation nowadays, to discard whatever proves troublesome. Let us remember the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I will address this when we come back.